Whether you're in trouble, called in, or not, it's essential to know how your county courthouse works so you can understand your legal rights and responsibilities. Knowledge is vital when appearing in the court as a plaintiff or defendant so that you'll be able to navigate effectively. I have done plenty of research to educate others on this topic. In this formative speech, I'll explain the difference between the courthouse and the Justice Center, what the courthouse oversees and costs, and how to prepare before a court hearing. In this speech, I'll explain what to do if you're called into or you call someone else into court. First, I'll be talking about the difference between the courthouse and the Justice Center. According to my law questions, the courthouse is a building that is used for judicial proceedings and legal activities. Mostly, they have jurisdiction over federal civil cases, but not criminal cases. According to the United States courts, if in a criminal case in the Wake Justice Center, according to United States courts, there will be a few parts to it before trial. First, the judicial process, where there is an attorney and grand jury. The grand jury will review the evidence given to the attorney and decide if the evidence is sufficient to need the defendant to stand in trial. Second is the burden of proof, where the defendants don't have to prove their innocence, but the government must prove that defendant is guilty. Then, if found guilty, they are arrested and booked. The arrested person can either go to jail or be granted bail. Pre-trial is a stage where the defendant hears the initial hearing, when the defendant hears the charges and enters their plea, guilty, not guilty. And the lawyer will take the evidence, negotiate, and schedule a trial. When the trial starts, the jury will be selected, and both sides will be presented evidence. At the end of the trial, the judge or jury will determine whether the defendant is guilty or not, and sentence the defendant according to the law. The defendant has the right to appeal to the verdict of the sentence. When in the Wake County Courthouse, a civil case would usually follow the steps according to the Wake County Courthouse website. 1. File a complaint about the grievance. 2. Would be the service of the process. The defendant will be notified of the lawsuit placed on them. 3rd, the defendant must answer to the complaint. Then 4th, the discovery phase, where both sides get to exchange evidence. 5th, motions and pre-trial hearings. The attorney may file to resolve the legal issue before the trial by dismissing the case or narrowing the case down. 6th would be settlement negotiations. Many cases can be solved by settlement or other dispute resolutions. If the settlement is not reached, it goes to trial. 7th, judgment and remedies. When the court issues judgment, which could be monetary value or action the losing party must take, but either party can appeal if they feel like they were legal errors. Now that we know the steps and differences between the courthouse and the Justice Center, we can learn what kind of cases the courthouse oversees. What does the courthouse oversee? To know what they do, you also need to know which case they cover according to the North Carolina Judicial Branch. Wake County Courthouse covers civil matters including family law, divorce, child custody, and support. Contract disputes involves issues which breaches in contracts. Personal injury, cases where individuals seek compensation for injuries. Property disputes, matters that pertain to the ownership or use of property. Probate and estates, handling the wills and estates of the deceased. There we go. But everything has a cost, whether the government or another party is paying for it. So how much does the court cost? According to the court cost fees chart in district court, average general court of justice fees cost $130. Faculties cost $16. Telecommunications and data connectivity fees cost $4. The total would be about $150 in all. And there is a $30 increase for each item the sheriff serving for the civil process. And lawyers cost between $250 and $520 an hour according to UpCounsel. Now that we've gone through the types of trials are taken and the cost of trial, now we can go to how to prepare for a trial, whether as a plaintiff or a defendant. How to prepare for a trial for a civil court hearing. If going to the court as a plaintiff, what would they need to prepare before the attorney? Because the attorney is not required. But it's good if you can consult an attorney. But I will be preparing as if there is no attorney for these cases. And the steps to take. They must, 1, understand what their claim is and know the legal basis of their claim. 2, organize all evidence, collect to support the cases. Prepare the witnesses that support their claim. Draft out your argument, key points of your argument, including what happened and why the defendant is responsible. Make sure to bring necessary documents. Attending pre-trial to discuss the case with the judge or opposing party for a settlement and learn what evidence can be used. When on trial, dress in a respectful demeanor and professionally. Lastly, be ready to respond to the defendant. If the defendant is coming to a civil court case at Wake County Courthouse, and again, if possible, talk to an attorney. Understand the complaint that's being made against you. Respond to the complaint. File an answer to admit or deny before the deadline. Gather evidence and collect all relevant documents, emails, etc., and find witnesses who can testify on your behalf. Understand court's legal process and rules for the trial, and prepare your defense. Attend the pretrial meeting and discuss the case with the judge and opposing party, because a settlement can be included. When on trial, look presentable and respectful, and be ready to answer questions. Whether you're a defendant or plaintiff, going to UpCounsel website can help your case. To recap, we can state the difference between the courthouse and justice center, what the courthouse oversees and costs, and what to do if in the plaintiff or defendant position. It's important to know about how the Wake County District Courthouse, especially if you happen to live in the district. Because when found in these predicaments, it's important to know what to do or get an attorney. I'm not in school for law, but I know my rights. That's it.